So we'll just move right along to the next speaker, which is a person I know and have known for years. She is from the TRS Center, Resource Center for Rare Disorders in Norway. Her name is Ariane Kwiet, and she's a specialist in physical therapy and rehabilitation, and also a pain specialist. And she is going to be talking to us about a toolbox for pain in OI and about empowering patients to take charge of their own health. That's something we like.
Yeah, and the idea was that, Ingunn, are you ready to... We thought we'd do it a little bit together. And first I would like to say Kelly, wherever she is now. Yeah,
Kelly's still in the room. Yes.
This is so fantastic, and maybe we should have done it like first this and then this, because I think you have a lot of answers to the questions that I will. Yes. Yes. So thank you for inviting me today. And so I guess the last 2 days we have heard a lot of pain in people with OI. And I'm not going to tell you all about the different types, and I think you know that now. But we have also heard that patients can feel alone with their pain. All the testimonies were quite clear that it is difficult to cope with the pain. And that's why the OIFE and the OI Foundation have come with the idea to do a toolbox for patients with OI. And so I was invited to give a talk about this topic, and I will not present a toolbox, as some maybe had hoped to, but the goal is to start a discussion how we could manage to create a toolbox. So let's see. Yes. So first, what is a toolbox? Well, a toolbox is can be a kind of a resource, an aid that can be designed both for patients but also for healthcare workers, actually. And so it can be used to address certain problems. And for patients, a toolbox can be useful to cope with a health situation, to get better understanding of the health situation, and help self-managing with health problems. And that leads me to the next slide, because it leads to some questions that we have to define before we can start to make a toolbox. So we know that there are several toolboxes, and there are fantastic things out there. Actually, both for patients, and there are a lot of toolboxes for healthcare workers as well on chronic pain. But most of these toolboxes are not specially designed for one diagnosis, but it's more on pain in general. And so we have to ask us, what do we know about pain and OI? And I guess after these 2 days, we know a lot more about this topic. And so the big question is actually what is different between the OI patients with pain and other patients who have chronic pain. So what could we use from existing toolbox? And where is a special need for the patients that have OI? And we have also to ask us, who is the target group for the toolbox? So for the first step, it was already decided in this group who worked with pain and OI the last, is it 2 years, maybe? Yep. Approximately, that it should be a toolbox for patients and not for healthcare workers. So, but also among the patients with OI, we have several groups, and not everything fits to everyone, because children have other needs than adults, and adolescents have other needs, and if you have pain after fractures, acute pain, it's other needs than if you have chronic pain. And then the question is, what about the family, the siblings? They have needs too. So it is important to define the target group and see their needs. So we must ask us what kind of pain we want to address. And again, I'm not going to repeat all the good things that were said before. So we know that there's a lot of different type of pain. And so it is important to define what we're talking about, but at the same time, when it comes to coping and exercise and mindfulness and all these things, this is like a parapluie, umbrella, because this can be useful for all type of pain. And then when we have answered all these questions, we have to define the topics the toolbox should cover. And I'm showing some examples, and some of these were actually covered by some of the talks before. And this is absolutely not a complete list. I'm quite sure that there's a lot of things that I'm missing here. And so we have actually to talk about with the patient, what is the need? What do they need? And then we must discuss, should this be a toolbox who gives like theoretical information that you can read or watch a film? Or should it give practical tips like videos on exercise, for example, or something like this? Yes, and this leads me to the next thing. And I think you illustrated it so nice because you used like everything. Because this is one important thing to cover as well. What kind of method? How should we like spread the toolbox? What is the easiest way to use? And also here, it's really important to see at the group who is the toolbox for, because again, children will use other forms to read, see a video or something, color books, than an adult or an adolescent. So I guess that it's kind of the combination that is useful. And now I have given you just a bunch of questions, and that was what we said before. So it's I hope that you have a lot of ideas, questions, feedback, that you want to participate in this, and it should be kind of the startup today, I guess.
Yes, I think we were hoping to have come a little bit further, and then we got completely absorbed in conference preparations and all kinds of stuff. But it's like, this is like an invitation for you to come with ideas, and if you're too tired after the conference, like myself, it's also possible to come with these ideas after the conference. We will send out some suggestions. Maybe you can come with feedback, and if you want to be part of like a reference group or a brainstorming group, just let us know, because I think it's useful to have different types of OI covered, different age groups, and also both people with OI and parents. Because we all have different perspectives on this. So if it's going to be a good toolbox, we need to have different ideas and voices. We have discussed in the Pain and OI project, it's been 1.5 years, that maybe chronic pain is more urgent to tackle than acute pain, because I feel the hospitals have more guidelines and so it's a chronic pain where people feel alone at home, like the testimonies showed. What are we doing with that? How can we support and empower people to manage that pain? And how can we give them tools, communication tools, to address this pain with their general practitioner, with their family, with their employer, like Karen and Jacob talked about, with other OI specialists, with their physio. So it's like both, let's say, resources that could help with pain, that could give people ideas, but also communication tools, because talking about your pain can be as difficult as managing it. So yeah, if you have ideas here now, please raise your hand. And
that's good. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and if you come up with some brilliant ideas after the conference, it's not too late.
Is there someone who takes notes now?
We have only 6 minutes for this, Ingunn.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay.
Thank you very much.
There was a lot of talk about sleep, but I totally missed that no one mentioned mattresses. And it's one of the most important things for me. I don't use painkillers. I don't take any medication. I have pain every now and then, and I lay down on my perfect mattress. I'm so in love with it. You can ask my husband. He would say how annoying I am, because I always recommend everyone, oh, you have back pain? What's your mattress? You need a good mattress. And I think it's for every individual, it's another mattress. You have to look, but get the one you need, please. It's so important. I feel back pain and I think, oh my goodness, I have to lay down half an hour on my beloved mattress and I'm good. The day is going on and I'm good. So I'm a big fan of a good mattress. And the other thing is, exercising can be so boring. It's not very attractive always. There are things that are simply boring. And I like to dance. But everyone can dance. You can do it like this, but you're just moving. And you can do this one, which I prefer, and yet you're moving. During lockdown, it was so boring, and I was dancing in my kitchen, and my husband came in and said, what are you doing? I'm doing my exercise, go away. And I was listening to my music and dancing. So you can do it like this, or maybe just a little bit like this, but you're moving your spinal cord. Yeah, do it just like you can. So I'm a big fan of dancing and a good mattress.
Thank you, Claudia.
Actually, I got some ideas already, because I remember now comparing with FOP that they have a toolbox for small gadgets that people can use in their daily life, and they have created them themselves, like picking up stuff from the floor or opening cans or doors. So that's like the mattress, like tools and things. But also like suggestions for exercises that might be a little bit more fun. That can be part of such a. Maybe other people have also ideas, but Andre.
Yes, I think Marie.
Yes.
Dance
Marie?
with your child, yeah, Marie, and then Andre.
Yes, we have a great toolbox. It's growing, so it's not so much up there yet, but also including breathing exercises that can be fun for children. But what I was thinking of with this toolbox is it would be really great to have one for all, with the similarities in all rare bone diseases. Mm-hmm. And then we have, go down to FOP, OI, and then go down with specific for the different from, but to actually start with the what we have in common, all of us.
Yes, we like that suggestion.
Because I think that would be really helpful for the healthcare professionals and for everyone and their family. And we can just go there in day one, and we can send the new families in day one, please go and read this so you can prevent and prepare. And this is what you need to have at home to
Good
prepare
idea.
when
Thank
the
you.
pain comes in the middle of the night during Christmas or Easter.
Yeah, I agree totally with you. I agree totally with you, because I think a lot of these things are in common. If you have OI or multiple osteochondroma or achondroplasia, it's like there's a lot of things that are in common. So I don't think that we have to create some special for this and for this and for this, but rather, and then take the specialties.
I have a little opinion. I heard so many times that, and we didn't spoke about this, but doing things in the water, hydrotherapy, swimming or moving in the water, I experienced myself, and many patients find relief in this. So I think, I don't know why we skip that, but it's something that definitely I think is super useful for exercise and for pain. I don't know what you think about it.
Agree.
Important.
Yeah, I think gamification is a wonderful tool. Like if you like to exercise, then you can maybe do games like Nintendo Switch Ring Fit, and there's also like fitness boxing and stuff like that. So that's more motivating. And stuff I do sometimes, like I watch a CrossFit video and then I watch Netflix in addition. So I can see a movie, maybe just an action movie, it's quite boring, but then I do like exercising So that's the kind of thing I do because just exercising is boring. So I need some.
I do the same. I do the same.
Right.
There's another suggestion over there.
1 minute left.
And also choosing the right mobility aids, because I see so many people with bad wheelchairs. And yeah.
There.
Well, I really enjoyed this conference about pain, but the thing I'm missing is the behavioral component. Some people just addressed it shortly, but to make choices in your life, what do I do and what do I not do? And those choices are very important to address pain and prevent pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is very difficult.
Yes. So that is the pain conference part 2.
Yes.
Yes.
The next time. Yes.
Next
Okay.
year.
I think we have to, in regards to time, just say thank you very
Thank you.
much.